So you didn't get a 5080 at launch. That's okay. Neither did most people, so you are not alone. But I'm here to help. My name is Krootman, and for those of you new to this channel, I have been hunting GPUs since 2020, and even though I no longer do that, my tactics and tips are still valid, and I'm going to show you how to dramatically increase your chances of buying an RTX 5080. If you are waiting for a 5090 guide, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, as that video is going to take a little bit more time to figure out, as the 5090 is a whole new animal in terms of supply shortages that we've never seen before. All right, so back to the 5080 guide. First thing is, do not give in to scalpers. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the graphics card that you've been using since before the 50 series was announced. Because make no mistake, you will eventually cop a RTX 5080. The 5080 launch was very similar to the 4080 launch. Now, supply was a little bit less, but it will normalize much faster than the RTX 5090. And once all of the people who decided that they wanted to pay scalpers, as unfortunately is their right, there will be plenty of scalpers stuck with cards that they don't want, or people who have buyer's remorse. These graphics cards cost a lot of money after all. And once the hype dies down, a lot of people realize they didn't want it as much as they thought they did. So there will be plenty of people, whether they're just gamers with buyer's remorse or scalpers, stuck with cards they don't want. And you will see that those cards get returned, which will increase supply. And once the scalpers back off, supply will pretty much normalize, as you don't have to worry about crypto miners buying this GPU or AI users buying this GPU, thanks to it only having 16 gigs of VRAM. I told you that was a good thing, guys. Okay, so the most valuable piece of information I'm going to give you, we're just going to start with up front. Discords and their notifications. This is going to be the easiest, most casual way for anybody to get an RTX 5080. I'm going to have the links for 4 Discords down below, including my own as a 5th. What you need to do is you need to join all 4 of these Discords, and you need to enable alerts for the 5090 and the 5080 in their roles channels. And the reason you want to do this is because what happens is these sites will just start pinging when sites go live. They have trackers that monitor all the major websites, so when stock comes in, you will know about it. Now, so will everybody else, but it gives you a pretty good shot, because a lot of times this will happen just randomly, right? And I can't tell you how many times in the past myself or someone else has gotten a GPU because they happen to either be in front of their phone or on their computer at some random time. We're talking like the most random time you could think of, when nobody else was around, and they were able to cop one. The pros of this is it literally allows you just to go on with your life. The con is you're going to get notifications quite a bit. So if you hate Discord notifications, this may not be for you. But if you really want that graphics card, you're just going to have to accept it. It's honestly not that bad, and you kind of just become used to them. Which, funny enough, is probably a good thing, because the more people become used to them, they don't check them as much. So if you keep checking them, it increases your odds. So this is by far the easiest and most casual way, is just relying on these 4 Discords, a mix of all 4, for stock, pings, and notifications. Okay, so the next few ways will have varying degrees of success and are much more involved. And honestly, in my opinion, I think that the stock for the 5080s will normalize relatively fast enough where the Discord pings will probably be good enough. But, if you want your card and you want it as fast as possible, these ways will dramatically improve your odds over the Discord pings. Alright, so this first one has a relatively lowish chance of succeeding, but you never know, and it's one of the ones that you can actually time. So everybody who got their Best Buy cards, they're showing their successes in all these Discords. It shows the delivery date, right? So a lot of them are in like a week. Usually it's like a week or a week and a half. That's when you'll start seeing returns, like in a week and a half-ish, or when scalpers realize they can't sell anymore for a big profit, if we're at that point. And B, people have buyer's remorse. So what you want to do is you want to check back on the website close to around that time. Or you want to just, if you live close to a Best Buy, you honestly should just casually go in and ask them if they have some in the back. It's very rare, but I know plenty of people who have gone in and came out with a card because somebody canceled an order and they can sell it there. Like, it's not going to be listed in their stock, but it will be in the back. Like I said, this is a lowish chance of success, but it's one of the few that you actually will have the timing of. And then the second thing with Best Buy is you want to try to establish a drop pattern. Usually Best Buy for a while had, like, they drop every Wednesday or every Thursday. So if we can establish some kind of drop pattern, that will help too. So you'll know that you can like sit down and camp that specific time. Like for example, during COVID, AMD Direct dropped Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. like clockwork. And it only took 30 minutes to get yourself a GPU. And that was how we got a lot of people AMD GPUs, because that was when they dropped every week. Would never announce it, but it was like clockwork. Another thing you can do with a site like Best Buy is you can get something called an auto refreshing script on your browser, right? So what you'll do is you'll set up like a different container in your browser. And if you don't know what a container is, Google it. But it's basically another instance of your browser. So what you can do is you can save your info on it, and you can run, like you could just leave this Founders page open on your screen, right? And you can have it auto F5 every, say, 30, 40 seconds. And then you have another window right next to it. If the button turns yellow and it shows in stock, you click on the other button and you order it. And you will usually be able to beat the monitors that way. Now, this requires you to be at your computer when it happens. And it's a lot of work. Like, you have to set up 2 containers, and you have to, like, just constantly be basically spamming the site. But Best Buy doesn't ban you, or at least they didn't before. So you shouldn't have a problem doing that. I hit a 4090 Founders doing this once, so I can confirm it works. But, like I said, it's a lot of work, and you got to be at your computer. These are just some ways that you can score your dream Founders Edition on BestBuy.com or any of the other GPUs that they have listed, because they have quite a few models and listed on their site. Okay, so the auto refresher trick may work on other sites, but establishing drop patterns will work on sites like Zotac.com, MSI.com, B&H, and most of the other sites. I know I'm forgetting a few. You can use that one on all the other sites. But as far as the container trick goes, you're going to have to try it on different websites and see if you get banned or not. It's really website dependent. All right, so the next one is Newegg. Once the first wave hits, Newegg is actually somewhat possible. And I know people who did actually have success on launch day with Newegg. It's funny, Newegg actually announced a drop on Twitter later on launch day at about 8 p.m. And I had some people pinging on my Discord. And I actually could have bought one if I wanted to, but again, I wasn't in the hunt for 5080. So Newegg will announce their drop sometimes on Twitter to give you an idea of when to prepare for them. Now, the one thing about Newegg is most of the time, they're going to force you to buy a combo, so you have to be prepared to buy a PSU or a monitor or a motherboard, which I generally would not recommend doing for the RTX 5080, as I think you should be going for as close to MSRP as possible. But if you happen to need one of those parts for your new build anyway, it might be worth it. All right, now here's the final one, and this one is unique because it's basically the only store that will have these in stock, but it's microcenter. First, you have to live close to a microcenter. If you don't, you can just skip this part and go to the end. But if you do, here's what you got to do. So microcenter will get trucks a few times a week. They usually get 2. They get a morning truck and an afternoon truck. Generally, the morning truck will be there pretty early, and they will get the stock list the night before. Whether or not your microcenter posted or not is up to the store individually, as far as I'm aware. Now, I have heard that they start listing the stock the night before, but I cannot confirm that. It was the case with the ARCs, the B570 and the B580, but I don't know if they're doing it differently with the 5000 series. I will tell you that means that you will have people camping. You will probably have people camping every single day at all microcenters for the next few months, hoping to get a 5080 or most likely a 5090. So you can either join them or not. One of the things that I personally recommend, and I've seen work, and it's worked for me in the past, is going around lunchtime after that initial wave of camping, especially if you live close to a microcenter. You can just casually stroll in, whether or not they say they have the card in stock or not, because that changes very fast. You can go up to a microcenter employee and ask them if they have a card in stock. Now remember, it is utterly important that you show kindness to these guys. They are going to get asked this question 10,000 times a day now. So be polite to your local microcenter employee. And if they do tell you that they have a card in stock, make sure you get their sticker and you slap it on that card, because they are commission based. All right? These guys are going to have a tough time for the next few months. So do everything in your power to make it easier on them. Okay? So you, like I said, you have 2 options. You can either camp in the morning and hope you get something. There's going to be a lot of people doing that. Or the one that has a smaller chance, but I would think you have more likelihood of succeeding, is going around lunchtime and seeing if the afternoon truck has arrived yet. Especially if you live close to a microcenter. That will dramatically increase your odds. Now, I think they have a policy of one per month. I hope they do, which means it will be hard for scalpers to snag more of them. So as supply normalizes, especially for the 5080s, you should find yourself able to get one from microcenter relatively quickly if you live close to one. Hopefully. Again, the 5090s are a whole nother animal, and we'll talk about that in another video. All right, so that's it for this one. To recap, Discord notifications are the best possible way. Then you can have containers open with auto refreshers, as well as establishing drop patterns at specific websites, and then camping the website at those specific times, hoping you get lucky. And then finally, if you live close to a microcenter, you can go there either in the morning, camp at night, or around lunchtime. And I think lunchtime is personally the best. All right, guys, that's it for this one. I really feel that most of you will be able to acquire an RTX 5080 relatively fast. I think the stock will normalize relative to a new product launch. All right, now this isn't me telling you you're guaranteed to get anything, because you're not. But I know a lot of people who acquired one on launch day. Now, I know there was a lot of other people who said it was impossible, but I'm telling you it wasn't. You just had to be a little bit lucky. But that is a good thing, even if you didn't get one, because that means that the stock is going to normalize much faster than the 5090. So have faith, guys. And please like and subscribe to this channel if it helped you. We are going to have a ton of 5080 content, 5090 content. We do new GPU content, older GPU content, and PC building content, as well as some gaming content. So please come hang out with me at Krootman Tech. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this guide. And I am rooting for all of you to get the GPU that you want. Peace out, guys, and see you on the next one.